You're listening to the Heroes Powerhour presented by BlizzPro.com. Your hosts, Balrog fan Zexorus and DJ Tyrant. Welcome everyone to episode number 59 of the Heroes Power Hour. I am DJ Tyrant, your host for this week's episode, and with me is our crew who is always with us. We have Balrog fan Zexorus, P-Flame G, and Artifice. How are you guys doing? Charlie, how are you doing? How was your week in gaming? We always start with the week in gaming. How has Heroes been treating you?
Not too bad this week. I didn't play as much as I did the previous weeks. I just did a little bit of touching up with Brightwing. I'm still trying to kind of find my place with various heroes, and especially I feel like things have been changed pretty drastically over the last few weeks, especially when it comes to top meta. We went through such a long period where Kelthus was like, yeah, he's kind of like a bottom tier mage, and then all of a sudden he's the best mage again. So Tracer's been running amok, and it's been an interesting couple of weeks. Yes, firing bullets left and right, stealing coins, and being very hard to pin down. But yeah, I'm probably gonna play a lot more this week since it's less of a busy week for me. Willie?
I haven't been able to play as much Heroes as I would have liked. It's been basically like trying to play Hero League with you and Artifice and making her mad at me constantly by constantly banning out Tracer in games.
Yeah, we're not friends.
But yeah, it's been a lot of Dahaka practice on my end, just because he's so incredibly strong right now. Like it just the global presence that guy has and his ability to set up ganks. And I've actually revised the build I do from the full tank build that I wrote for the website for BlizzPro to give him a bit more mobility coming out of bushes and everything else. So because that benefits him a great deal, and that just works to his benefit to get into position quickly after exiting Brushstalker. And it's been fun. There's been some ideas I've been kicking around for body blocking to help peel for a team and stuff like that. And I'll toss it to Carl because we talked about that a little bit. Carl, how about your week in gaming? I know you got finals and stuff.
Yeah, I had 2 finals and 2 final labs since the last episode.
Ooh.
So I've been kind of buried in school. But I had a chance to play some today, which was nice. Got to first pick Kelthus a couple times in Hero League. So, some freeload there.
That's they made a mistake not banning.
Yeah. I mean, Kelthus is already pretty strong, and he's always been one of my best heroes, so that was pretty nice. Put in some more practice on some of the... What?
Oh, no, sorry. I thought you were...
Yeah, I was just saying I put in some more practice on some of the heroes I'm not as practiced on, like Zagara and Tracer, and we're going to work on Thrall some, just to make sure I'm pretty well-rounded. So, that's about it.
Artifice, I know you've been going hard at this game for about what are we going at? A year now? How was last week?
Frustrating. Somebody was banning all my characters.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But, it seemed to be a lot of dissenting players in queues where there was a lot of drops where we would queue up and the minute we got in game, somebody disconnected and never came back. And we couldn't figure out if it was a connection thing or the I didn't get to play what I wanted, so I left thing, which has happened.
Yeah.
But there's been lots of Tracer and Murky and Tracer.
Yeah, I have seen a jump in Murky. It seems like he's popular.
And Overwatch.
Yeah, Overwatch has kind of taken over a lot of people's games too. I haven't logged on since BlizzCon, so. Charlie. Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Hero League here and there, but I've been so busy with casting and other stuff just in life, and Overwatch coming back online is, for a little bit here, is going to take up my time, but yeah, once these changes to Tracer come in, I'm excited to try to go back into Hero League and see how it is now with her getting a little bit adjusted there. I did play, I think, one game with Artifice in Hero League, and we won that, so that made me happy. Minus the
you were playing Rhaegar.
yeah, and you were playing Thrall. Minus the Nazebo who kept wall zombieing you in.
Oh yeah,
inappropriate
what
times.
Did he call it? Zombie armor.
Zombie armor.
I think that was the name. He called it zombie
Yeah,
armor.
it was funny. But yeah,
that doesn't work for Thrall though.
No,
It's a mage, but Jesus.
Yeah, I had to ask him to stop because I said I can't actually stay alive if I can't hit people in the face. So
yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I watched a lot of the competitive scene and casted last night. I casted a chair league game and my usual Heroes hype stuff. So it's busy like it always is, but not as much play as I would have liked in the Nexus.
You wear a lot of hats between two games, so
It's yeah.
Speaking of chair league, for those who didn't tune in, we had a not great match, not great showing. I don't even know how to describe it. Someone else.
actually, I'm pretty sure Akuma had technical difficulty, so nobody tuned in.
Oh, okay.
About 2 minutes into the map, he got disconnected or something, and the stream died.
Oh, gone forever.
Was this the game I set out?
I think, yeah, it was last week.
Wait,
Yeah,
no.
okay.
No, last week was.
Rommel casted it.
Yeah, that was the one Rommel casted.
Oh, was that the week before?
Yeah,
I'm
the
losing
week
track.
before.
Yeah, the week before Akuma
Gotcha.
stream just absolutely just crapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can tell people we won that one then. Sorry.
Oh my
so
god.
Sorry.
last
They know.
week was Rommel. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did he behave during that?
I actually didn't go back.
Define behave.
I did not.
The
go
answer
back,
to either question is no.
but I mean, it was. I mean, we didn't play super bad. I had like 2 deaths that probably could have been prevented. We got what we wanted on the Dragonshire map. You know, we did what we came to do, and we got the first dragon, and we pushed out a lane, and then we had a couple bad engages around mercenary camps and in mid, and they took the lead and never really gave up.
Yep.
I wasn't able. I felt like I wasn't able to establish my the presence I wanted to with Dahaka like I should have. The rotations were a little slow out of me going from top to bottom lane, and honestly, up until late game, once Dahaka hits 20, you can't stall out as well as you would like with him, especially on Dragonshire. It's kind of hard.
I made some mistakes on the calls in the mid game as well. I kept putting Artifice all over the place, either having her hold a lane or clear camp, or I had her doing a lot of things by herself, which in retrospect was a huge mistake because Sagira's strength really lies in moving around with creep on the map and being able to participate in team fights and put that sneaky kind of slow burn DPS on people that they don't realize is hurting them until it's too late. And I don't know, just
They were also focusing Jeff a lot. They would take 4 and murder ball him because he was by himself bottom lane.
And Arthas doesn't really have a lot of escapes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, we learned. We did okay. It wasn't like we got completely embarrassed. We lost a couple in the middle there, and then never really could recover from it. It's hard. It's really hard to come back against a good team when you're down like a level or two.
Yeah,
I
it really
remember
is.
that game. It was right after exam.
Yeah. I thought I was well prepared, but like in the middle of the map, I kind of just panicked, I think, or something. I don't know. It's it can be difficult, and that's always been one of my worst maps. Jimmy will vouch for that, going way back. I've always been bad at calling Dragonshire. There's two things I'm really bad at, and it's calling for Abathur and calling Dragonshire. I can't wrap my head around it sometimes, especially the rotations.
It's tough.
You can call for Abathur? I thought he just kind of did Abathur things.
Well, he does Abathur things, and then I don't know what to tell the team to do while he's doing Abathur things. Like, because top level Abathur's kind of like, they grab lane soak and they're all around the like. Where do I put the other 4 bodies while that's happening? That's something I need to really just sit down with like Aya and like walk me through what you're doing the entire time. Then I'll learn how to like what you expect out of your team while you're doing that.
Mm-hmm. Make sure it's a happy game when you ask him that.
Yeah. Well, I don't play with Aya at 3 a.m. when he's in his prime playtime and he's yelling at everyone.
Oh my gosh.
I honestly, we have a chat. I wake up every at 5 or 6 a.m. and Aya has written like a thesis statement on the terrible match it's just in.
Yep. Pretty much.
Although his Murky game he seemed pretty pleased with.
Yeah, he always loves schooling with Murky. He's got an amazing Murky. I don't know. You and or Aya and Artifice both have probably equal Murkies, I think.
Duel to the death.
Yes.
To the death.
1v1.
Death.
After first 1 to 20 deaths loses.
That's why we need the arena.
That's gonna take like 20
5
years.
deaths or 20? How are you counting
that? Point to the totals. No, we need the arena so I can make that happen.
There you go.
I wonder if arena's going to coincide with maybe like the Warcraft movie coming out. That would be cool.
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure because I thought the original announcement was supposed to be second quarter, but I don't know if it got pushed back because of all the other projects or not.
I heard it was late. Like I thought it was going to be late summer, early fall.
Yeah.
Could be. Well, the movie is next
June.
month.
Yeah.
Jesus, next month.
It is? I thought it was July.
No,
I think originally it was like earlier, and then they moved everything a little bit. Like Overwatch got moved a little bit, the movie got moved, Legion got moved. Just not much, just like a month. So they weren't all at the same time.
I gotta confess, I'm kind of worried about the movie. I'm gonna see it regardless, but I just don't know, guys.
Yeah, the marketing has been exceptionally awful for it. Like, I don't know what it is. I mean, I trust Duncan Jones because the few times I've seen him talk at BlizzCon, he's definitely very much a Blizzard nerd. So I trust that he knows what he's doing. He's going to treat the source material right. But yeah, I'm not too worried about the movie itself. I'm worried about the movie falling flat on its face and us never getting another video game movie ever again. But we've had this conversation before, I feel like, many, many times.
I don't know. I kind of want to disagree on that, only because I find myself thinking the opposite, where I can't stand over promotion of movies, where you see like 6 trailers for the same movie.
Yeah.
There's no point in watching it at that point. Like 1, maybe 2 trailers max. Like you don't want to give away 3/4 of the movie in the trailer. What's the point of buying a ticket?
I'm with you.
It gets carried away. Like you only need 1 trailer. People are gonna go see it. They know what the material is.
Yeah,
what? Really guilty of that. They're
yeah, they're so guilty of that.
With 12 new scenes.
What did a really good job of that was 10 Cloverfield Lane. In Cloverfield, before that even, like, the trailer was just enough of a taste of the movie to get you intrigued, but it didn't give anything away of the movie. So, I mean, but that's obviously a little different.
Did you follow the ARG for Cloverfield? The first one?
I didn't.
There was a little bit of a ARG that was going on. ARG being an alternate reality game, like 9 Inch Nails 0-0, which is probably hands down my favorite ARG that I've ever participated in. But yeah, it was pretty interesting on like the backstory of like how the Cloverfield monster could have came into existence and stuff like that.
Yeah, I never actually saw the original. I just saw the second one because it had John Goodman.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to see that. I haven't gotten to see
did you review that on your podcast, your movie podcast yet, Charlie?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That might be something we do in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
We're gonna circle.
Some
We're
keys
gonna
up the storm.
we're gonna circle it around to Heroes of the Storm here. There were some qualifiers this weekend. ESL qualifiers for the second North American Summer Regional Championship. That's quite a mouthful. Anyways, the two teams that advanced were Gale Force Esports and Panda Global. Gale Force once again knocking out Cloud9 of a qualification. And Astro Authority knocked out Tempo Storm before they got knocked out by Panda Global. So another qualifier that Tempo Storm and Cloud9 really kind of just crap out at the end, like, to be honest. And they're going to have to go for the third qualifier here that's coming up not this weekend, but the weekend after. And Cloud9 just looked really bad against Gale Force once again. Like, it was just the one game that they won, they kind of scrapped it together, but the two game, at least the third game that Gale Force won against them, Gale Force just took complete control. And there was Michael Udall was on Asmodan, and there was this one play, it was a Blackheart's Bay, and he dodged something and stayed alive somehow for I don't know how long. It was absurd.
Dodge anything as Asmodan.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it though. It was crazy. But yeah, Gale Force once
Was
again.
it Bolt of the Storm?
No, it was.
That's the only escape tool I can think of that he has.
Yeah, I forget what else it was, but anyways, it was it was a really crazy series, and once again, the NA kind of Titans are not showing up for these qualifiers. I mean, I don't expect them to not qualify for this event. It's just surprising that it's taken them multiple qualifiers once again to qualify.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one day they'll take them seriously. I don't know. They've always won when the chips were down. I'm still like, will always believe in Cloud9 until they prove me otherwise. But yeah, that's from what I read. It sounded kind of shaky.
So, did you guys see the Ascension versus Cloud9 game? Like the game 2?
Was that the one with the support picks?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
The clown shoes on all limbs.
No, I didn't see that.
What was it? Tyrael, Karazim, Lili, Tarand. I forget the last one, but it was silly. Uther.
I think I missed that one. Did they win it?
No, they got blown out.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Horribly.
Was that just kind of like waving the white flag, do you think? Or were they trying something? Like, did it look like they were attempting something? Because it's always interesting to see people test stuff like that or try to make it work when you know. I mean, they were going against Cloud9, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you go in feeling at, like, such a disadvantage. The only way you can maybe take one is surprise them, I'm guessing. I would hate to think that a team would intentionally throw away a game.
I think I was thinking of that wrong. So Ascension did that versus Cloud9?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna try and clown somebody who beat a top team at BlizzCon with Murky.
Yeah.
Not sure where their logic was. That's like the ultimate clown game right there.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I said clown shoes on all the limbs.
Was there any other, like, big noteworthy things that happened during? Because I totally missed it.
Not too much else. I mean, Astro Authority looked really good, even though they didn't qualify. But they're most likely going to qualify in the next or the fourth and final qualifier. But what I really want to talk about, continuing the esports discussion, is DreamHack is this weekend in Austin, and that's the first North American qualifiers, and whoever wins that event does qualify for the grand finals of summer. And looking at the groups are really scary. Group A is Naventic, Panda Global, Team Higher Consciousness. They did change their name, I believe, because I'm sure at Blizzard's request, because they were abbreviated THC. And Cloud9 is in that group.
I don't see anything wrong with Team Higher Consciousness. I don't see nothing wrong with that name.
I'm just going to say I expect Naventic and Panda Global to make it out of this group. Really? I don't know. Cloud9, they definitely obviously have a chance, and they're on the land environment, so that'll be interesting. But I don't know. Naventic clearly is going to get out of this group. I think they've just looked really strong, just in general, the past few months. Panda Global, I just think they can really outplay the other two teams in this group, and they're that former Team Blaze, so they have that crazy draft strategy behind Cladius. I think that could potentially throw Cloud9 for a loop, but Cloud9 has really proven on land that they're much stronger than most of the other North American teams. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on this group? This group is a pretty hectic group, I feel like.
I mean, I'll just go Cloud9 and Aventic. I think they'll do it.
It also has a lot to do with the fact that now that it's been fully live for a year and there's been the first official championship, there's a lot more pressure this year to carry on.
Yeah.
Because now with it being spread attention-wise, with the movie coming out in Overwatch, the focus has to be stronger for the teams. It's becoming more of a standardized game like all the other esports ones, where you have to compete, you have to do well constantly. Like, you can't, unfortunately, you can't pull off the cheese games as much as you could last year.
Right. People are more used to it. And I mean, yeah, this game has grown very fast in a year. 2 Heroes of the Dorm under their belt, pretty successful BlizzCon showing.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many people on that stage, they had to kick us out and put it on other stages because the fire marshal was getting very angry. But yeah, they had to, and I felt bad for the security because people were trying to watch, and security's like, we have to move you. So we actually all moved to the Hearthstone stage and sat and watched the big screen there because there was no room for everybody, which makes me wonder if there's a potential for it to be moved to the main stage this year, because the showing was so big for the finale.
Yeah.
That tends to happen for all the esports events at BlizzCon. Like, the StarCraft area gets capped every year.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go in the arena. There's so many people in there. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all know a lot about StarCraft-like things. I'm just like, look at all the pretty...
Yeah. Carl, I want to know your thoughts on this group, really.
I unfortunately haven't been able, because of the end of the semester, to keep up a lot with the groups. I think I would still lean towards an event at Cloud9, but I mean, they definitely haven't been super impressive in the recent tournaments. And you can say, hey, they always perform on LAN or whatever, but Panda Global and Actual Authority, those teams have grown and gotten a lot better since then. So I think I don't think it's 100 or 90, even probably 80% that it's an event at Cloud9. I think Planet Global definitely has a shot. THC probably has a smaller shot.
Yeah, I hate to write them off, but they're in a they're
in a tough group.
Yeah, they're in a very tough group. Will, did you want to add anything, or?
Actually, I think it's going to be Panda and Cloud9, just because Cloud9 is always incredibly strong at lands. They always somehow manage to shine through. I'm still not convinced on the Ventic. Like, they're all individually strong players, but is it the same group? No, they dropped somebody
they don't have
here
Earl
recently.
Anymore, right?
I think so.
Yeah, he's on Tempo Storm.
But I'm not 100% convinced. Like, they can keep it together for lands, So I got Panda and Cloud9 going through.
Yeah.
Okay. So
sounds like we're all kind of like believing.
Oh,
Not everybody all at once.
Charlie?
we're back. There we go. Sorry, I think there was a connection issue on my end. Anyways, did you want to finish your thought, Charlie? Or
Oh, I was just saying,
Okay.
I think we all pretty much believe in Cloud9, except for you, who's a hater.
yeah, pretty much. And then really quickly, because I feel like I'm really dragging this out. Group B: Tempo Storm, Astro Authority, formerly Gus or Bus, Cognitive Gaming, and Gale Force Esports. If Group A was hard to predict, I feel like this is even harder to predict.
Nope.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm gonna go with Gale Force.
Yeah, I want to go with Gale Force coming out of this group. And oh man,
Astral?
I,
Oh, hey, Halfengrim, thanks for the sub.
oh yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Woo! Yay. Um, I'll go with Astral. They've been showing that they've been really strong, and Equinox is probably one of the scariest assassins. I feel like
Yeah, he's really
if he
good.
gets his heroes that he wants, it's pretty terrifying what he can do with them.
Yeah.
Tempo has looked pretty shaky. In COG, I don't know. I just feel like at big events they really haven't shown up.
Yeah, Cog doesn't have the
I think it's very different now from where we were last year.
Yeah.
And Gale Force, they continue to impress me. I thought teams would have figured them out by now because they're such a young team as far.
I don't have any faith in Tempo Storm these days.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a really crazy event, and I feel like a lot of teams are going to surprise us because I feel like the gap between the absolute top tier teams in NA and these kind of lower top NA teams is much smaller than it was. I mean, last year
Yeah.
in Vegas, we were talking about Tempo Storm and Cloud9, and
Everyone
yeah,
was in the
they
conversation.
did go 1-2, and no one else was even considered. And yeah, and I think it's very different now from where we were last year.
Yeah.
And Gale Force, they continue to impress me. I thought teams would have figured them out by now because they're such a young team as far as being together as a unit, and they're still rolling teams. I mean, they just beat Cloud9 for that, like we were just talking about, the online qualifier. And one thing I did hear actually from Jayhow, who I have to shout him out, he's getting to cast this event, so mad props to him. I got to meet him at Heroes Rising earlier this year, and it was really awesome. We've built a really close friendship, so I'm really excited for him to be casting a big land like this. But he was telling me Gale Force is actually already in Texas, and they're all scrimming in the same house or room or whatever, and so they were all together for that qualifier. So I think that can actually have a pretty big impact on how your team plays. Having everyone in the same room together is such a different environment for players to play in. But yeah, Gale Force and Astro Authority, I would say, are getting out of this group. Although that second spot is really up for anyone, I feel like.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see it all play out.
It should be a pretty good tournament, yeah.
Wondering how they'll deal with these incoming Tracer nerfs and if she'll be there. See, that's called a segue.
That's called a segue.
The last event I watched, she was banned from the event. Are they going to continue that?
I
2 weeks is the rule, and she's
know.
been out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how it worked with the.
I think they did it 3 weeks from her early release.
Oh, okay. So she won't be. It's not. We're talking about this coming week, so she won't.
Oh, okay. Maybe? I don't have a guaranteed note on that.
I'd have to
Somebody
look.
call Blizzard. Somebody get Blizzard on the line. Figure out what's going on.
Jimmy, get your Hollywood contacts.
I know.
Yes.
I gotta get them.
Jimmy has a direct. He has Dustin Browder's cell phone.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm
Before
gonna call him
he-
up right now.
Runs things by
Dustin
Jimmy to make sure
Browder.
it's okay to make the changes.
Uh-huh.
You know, his response is just going to be, let's go see Civil War, right?
Oh
Which-
man.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
So Tracer receives so many nerfs. So many nerfs. Well, it's going live tomorrow.
I need violin music for this.
Yeah. Play some sad Hulk
depressing.
walking away piano music. She's losing quite a bit of health. I mean, not too much. She's going down from 1270 to 1206. Her health regeneration's going down. Her basic attack damage is going down too, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when it comes to scaling it, it makes quite a difference in the long run of things.
5-ish% nerfs.
Yeah. I think she's still going to be good at doing what she does. It's just not going to be as lethal, obviously.
Yeah.
I think the idea behind it is a lot of what I did, where I would literally just walk in front of somebody backwards and murder tanks. Like, they had no chance of escaping. They had no chance of doing anything against it. Like, she can literally fire backwards while running in front of you while you're trying to run to safety. There's nothing
Yeah.
you can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
it's
basically
very
impossible
disruptive.
to escape from.
Yeah, especially when you're a big slow tank. I mean, I kind of like just put Diablo on the shelf as soon as Tracer launched him.
Oh
Thank you.
man.
I remember the first time I fought her and I shadow charged her and she like blinked away and I'm just sitting there like, guys, and she just comes back and shoots me 5 times in the face. So yeah, the recall changes, the cooldown's being increased, and then the reduction is being decreased from 4 to 2 on Slipstream for her E.
Yeah.
So a little less mobile now to that extra 2 seconds. Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume most people took. Did you take Slipstream, Artifice?
Slipstream was always my talent. I
Oh, yeah.
went both of those because I went the recall build because it was just, especially on maps like Black Hearts and the Garden, because I would use her for thieving. I would
Yeah.
jump in, take everything, and disappear. Like that was the whole point of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you think you'll still take it now that it just brings it down to the like? Basically, what happens is Recall's base cooldown used to be 24. Now it's 26, and Slipstream only reduces 2. So all Slipstream does is bring it back to the cooldown it was, this week. Without.
I mean, I think it just requires tuning. Like when they changed Zagara's Maw, there was a 20-second difference on it, but I still use it over the Nidus network. It just
Yeah.
takes a lot of like personal tuning on your timing.
Yeah, it makes your recalls carry more weight. They have to really.
It's not. It's not just like playing a Crusader in Diablo where you scream "we" and you just run through everything and everything dies. Like now you actually have to pay attention.
Check out my horse. So, and the one kind of nerf buff she did get is the pulse bomb charge bonus increases from 15 to 20%.
She got buffs
on
on
her
her
pulse
16
strike
talents
talent.
too.
I think they buffed that one
Well,
because
Locked
it was the
Yeah.
least chosen talent of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Quantum Spike was ridiculous. It probably still is. I love that one, but you have to be really good at aiming your bombs to take that one, because if you miss, it hurts inside. Sticky Bomb is used a lot because it makes it easier to aim, which is what a lot of people go for. And Pulse Bomb was just something that people kind of bypassed for the other two.
Yeah. And then the locked, as Carl said, her other level 16 locked and loaded is getting a 5% damage increase buff, kind of, I guess, to make up for the loss in early game damage.
Yeah, so that tier, I really, really like that tier. So you've got the one option, which is just you reload, I think 30% faster, which results in a 20% damage increase. Or the final shot, if you hit the same target for all of it, does 35% of the total damage. And then locked and loaded is like if you hit D and the last half of the reload time, you just get a now 40% AD buff for the next clip. So they buffed the two that require more like effort, right? You get to kind of choose.
Yeah.
You can say, oh, I don't want to think about it. I'll just get a 20% buff. Or I want to have to hit D every second, basically, and get a 40% damage buff.
Yeah.
Which I like that they did like add some compensation buffs in here, but they're like you have to play well to get them.
And I think most heroes' talent pools should be like that. I think most levels should offer options for like you can get a lot out of this if you play this character a lot and practice using this talent, but this is also the other option is a talent that's good. It's really good, but it's just kind of, baseline good, and there's no way of improving on it or getting more out of it because of your skill.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best way to approach most heroes, honestly, because it's hard not to get into like this is the only way to build that hero when one talent is clearly better than the rest on certain tiers levels. I don't know, for example, like a lot of ultimates, as Artifice said, like the difference between Devouring Maw and Nidus Network, it's pretty big.
Yeah, it is.
So
well, they even the buffs they did recently with buffing Earthquake for Thrall to get more people to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have actually seen a lot of Earthquake lately, and in the most cases it doesn't really work out well in their favor because they don't, since they're not used to taking it, they don't really know when or where to use it. They're just
Yeah.
kind of throwing it down and hoping for the best.
I think Earthquake has always worked wonders with an Executioner comp. If you have a couple people take an Executioner at 13 and then make them fight in
16.
Thrall's Arena, or 16
Works
rather.
well for March of the Murlocs.
I could definitely see
Oh
that.
my goodness.
So I'll
Now that the earthquake, that's the stun, right?
No,
It's slow.
it's all the
Really,
stuff.
Jimmy, got him.
You know what? Next week, people are gonna come here and be like, "I took your advice, Willie, and it didn't work. It was the wrong one."
I couldn't stun
Stun
anybody. with
anybody.
Earthquake. So I'll throw it to you first, Artifice. Since you're probably the resident tracer expert here, are these nerfs in line with? Do you think they were needed, or were they too heavy-handed?
It really depends on how she plays in the next few weeks, because even this first week live, I didn't really. It wasn't like when Li Ming released and everyone was like, ban her forever, every day, every match, every minute. Like, it's still like, in Hero League, I'd be fourth pick and she'd still be available at that point in probably 40% of the games if Willie didn't already ban her. But it's just one of those things where people understand that, like, she can be countered, but depending on how she's played, she's fairly viable. She just has to be with a team that understands how to play with her.
Yeah.
Like, there's been... I played against the use of the Diablo Malfurion team, and they were very good at staying together. They were very good at protecting each other.
And she can't, like, once she's already used her recall, she can't get out of that route, basically.
Tracer can't go into a pack of enemies. She gets wrecked.
Yeah. She's one of those... one of those, like, very dangerous but very fragile. Like, the Murkies, the Vikings, the Li Ming, made of paper but can destroy people if you underestimate her.
And anybody else got anything they want to add to that?
Well, I'm getting a StarCraft map.
I've got nothing. Let's go. Yeah, let's go on then to speculation. There's a couple things to speculate about lately in the Heroes of the Storm community. If you follow any of the kind of big name personalities in Heroes of the Storm, you'll notice that they're all in California and all where Blizzard is located. I mean, Blizzard, it sounds like they're bringing out pretty much a who's who of everyone in the community. I mean, they're bringing out the esports personalities. They're bringing some of the more content creators like MF Pally Time. So I'm really curious what you guys think they're going to be announcing or they're talking about with all these community members, because it could be a multitude of things. I feel like it's at least probably matchmaking and Grandmaster League for a lot of the esports people. But what else do you think it could be? I mean, I think we're due for a event in game sometime soon for maybe another franchise.
I hope it's not another run around and chase something until like 10 seconds left.
Get the monkey!
Chase down the stealth plane from StarCraft, the Banshee.
Yeah.
It just disappears.
Oh my
on
gosh.
So I know
Nightmare.
at BlizzCon last year, they met with all of those people basically, and they had a big conversation about where they wanted to take Heroes Esports and what they wanted in 2016, and they came out with this 3 like circuit thing that they're doing, where there's a spring championship and the summer championship and the fall championship that's going to be at BlizzCon. So we're now about halfway through that. So I think part of what it is they're probably bringing those guys in and saying, hey, you know, is this working? You know, is this providing all the content you guys want? How are we handling this well? What should we do better? Because there are a lot of the esports people there. But I mean, there's probably other stuff too.
No, I honestly didn't even really think about that, and you said that, and it made so much sense. I think we don't even need to talk about it anymore. I mean, yeah, that sounds right. There could be an announcement of the events, as I think we're due for StarCraft. I think that's probably going to be the one that gets launched. Although they might tie a Warcraft one in with the movie. We all we know is it won't be Diablo.
Yeah, I feel like as much as as much as I want it to be StarCraft, Warcraft makes more sense for them as far as marketing right now.
Yeah.
Because of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly have zero idea. No one's telling me anything, and I'm asking people, and they're like, "We can't tell you anything." So, I'm hoping we find out soon. TM.
Yeah.
But we'll
There's
see.
also a chance it's not on hold, but with everything unloading, like they don't want to overfill. Like you have Overwatch and the movie and Legion all coming out within the next 2 months. Like,
Mhm.
how much more do they want to stuff into the pot before it overflows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there can be a content overload. I mean, I know like people just kind of like went to Hearthstone last week. Like when something big comes out like that and everybody's just doing other things, it can make
I forgot
the
that
other
one.
games suffer. So with I don't know. Can there ever be too much? There probably can be. I mean, it's always going to hurt the popularity of other games. When Overwatch comes out, there's definitely going to be less people playing Heroes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other speculation, though, Blizzard did put out on their social media channels a very short GIF highlighting a potential new hero. It was a dragon's shadow kind of moving over on Curse Hollow, I think it was.
And it gave vision.
Yeah, and it gave vision. So, speculate away. I mean, the shadow really looks like a Warcraft-style dragon, so I think we can agree that it's going to be from the Warcraft kind of.
Are there dragons in other universes?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are there dragons in StarCraft?
Not really.
There are
That I can think
dragoons.
of. There are dragoons.
It was
Got
a
me
bunch
there.
of dragoons clumped together.
Yes.
It's a bunch of it's a bunch of Phoenix clones.
Oh my
The
gosh.
next hero is 4 battle cruisers taped together.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's 4 Dugals like all clumped together.
Hogger
There-
on a
Hogger.
dragon.
There we go. I like artifices there. That's good.
I'll hold out hope.
My thought was
Hogger in the Nexus.
my thought was either Deathwing or Alexstrasza. Those seem kind of be the big dragons from the Warcraft universe that don't really have a presence in Heroes, but I don't know how you would implement them, especially
Yeah.
something like Deathwing, who's supposed to be like a world shatterer basically, and ripped apart Azeroth in the Cataclysm.
Yeah.
My
I don't know.
thought, honestly, I mean, all jokes aside, I think it has a higher chance of being Alexstrasza because clearly Deathwing wouldn't really be support, so unless that ult also rained something down on the world, it would be kind of weird. And also, she was made a big like comeback showing with all her like limited edition pins and everything last year at BlizzCon. Like that was kind of out of nowhere.
Now this is definitely going to be an aspect, right? Like it's going to be them in human form.
That's what I'm assuming.
I can't see like just like okay, let's go down lane. Okay, the dragon's blocking the bridge again. Like you could,
Yeah.
Makes
I
for
assume
great troll
Dragon
material.
Yeah.
is like an ult or something,
yeah.
or
So
they
it's-
could have like a passive, like like a. I was thinking maybe you could have like a passive, like fly across the map and get vision over something instead of your Z.
Well, if
Yeah.
it was the dragon form, would they be able to go in the medic ship?
See the real questions here.
Just right on top.
There's a lot of logistic problems with bringing a dragon into the Nexus Blizzard.
Mhm.
Help us
Yeah.
out here. Willie, I know you did frame by frame free shots of the video, and you compared dragon horns, and you got out magnifying glasses and stenographs and all kinds of things. So what did your findings provide us?
Well, I think it's Alexstrasza because of 2 things. One of them was the shape of the dragon. There's some. It lends itself to Deathwing as well again. But the other thing that I took into account was the quote that was given with the picture, and it said "Eyes to the skies, heroes," and that's actually if when I was looking through everything. That's actually a quote from, I think, Ronan from World of Warcraft.
Ronan is correct.
And he was, I believe, in WoW lore, he was instrumental in freeing Alexstrasza. So that's why I think that's why it's going to be Alexstrasza.
For someone who's not a WoW player, you're pretty good with the lore.
That's literally all I learned about it. I was like looking up like quotes and stuff like that. Like it looked like it had two heads at first, so I was trying to figure out, are there two-headed dragons in World of Warcraft?
We only
And
called
then
both
I kinda-
Necromancer and Wizard the last reveal too, with all of his research. So just throwing that.
Yeah, I called Necro with just the laugh, and that was idiotic.
Yeah.
But really, we need another support in the game. There's a glut of tanks, bruisers, DPSs. Like we need another support in here.
But would she be a hybrid support like Tassadar and Tyrande, or would she be a full support if it's
I hope
her?
she's a hybrid.
I kind of
Hybrid.
hope she's a hybrid too. Like if they're gonna start adding the Dragonflight in, I'd like to see Ysera like end up being the full support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sarah would be really cool too.
Yeah.
The
Rommel seems to think it's going to be Ysera.
Rommel thinks.
Oh, man.
Blowing up chat with Ysera hypes.
Yeah, did we want to move on to the Reddit topic real quickly?
Yeah,
or
if you
briefly
can open up the raffle
Yeah.
right now for everyone.
Okay, yeah, actually, before we go into that, let's go ahead and open up the raffle. It is, let me open it. It is going to be ! Raffle. Go ahead and enter there, and we'll close it in just a few minutes after talking about the Reddit stuff. This is for a $20 Battle.net gift card, so you can spend that on hero skins, you can spend that on old gods packs, whatever you want.
It's ! Raffle, not ! Waffle, if anyone would. So what's hot on Reddit this week was a thread that garnered quite a bit of attention, and it was basically a petition to the HOTS community. And someone was basically saying, they've been playing since closed beta, and Blizzard has done in the time he's been following Heroes is awesome, and they've done that with a lot of feedback from the community, especially Reddit. He's basically kind of pleading with people to stop being so impatient with things. And he said he went to Dustin Browder's Twitter page and was immediately made sad by reading the kind of stuff he has to read.
It's pretty ridiculous. I mean, I
Yeah.
want to interject really quickly that when we were talking with him at Heroes of the Dorm, he was talking about last year he was able to keep up with everything that was coming in through his Twitter account, but now he's just not able to be able to read everything that people send in. Unfortunately, it's getting just a volume point that's just too critical for him. I feel like we've talked about this before, especially with Willie, that everything he responds to is generally negative. It seems like it's a little unfortunate that it kind of comes off that way, but I know he does appreciate the positive feedback as well. But yeah, this is a good plea to the community to chill out a bit.
And part of it was the Artanis Zealot Charge baseline. That's like a decent hey, this would be a really good design kind of thing to do. But you don't need to tweet at him the 300,000th picture of your Hotslogs profile saying that they had 400 more MMR than you. That kind of stuff isn't. They're very, very aware of they're constantly trying to update the matchmaking system.
Yeah,
This is their job. They don't play one game and then go on someone's Twitter feed angry and start, whining about the quick match they were just in. They live this, so you're not doing anything special. You're just wasting the man's time.
Yeah, we all remember my rant a couple weeks ago.
Yes,
it just kind of went completely off the rails.
Yes, and I mean, it just seems to be okay. We all know there are problems with quick match, but you can talk about that with your friends. You can talk about that on forums like Reddit and whatnot.
Or the official forums.
Right, or the official forums. It sucks that I have, I generally can only get one or two or three people to play with most of the time. It's hard to go full group, and it's often more than one other person wants to play. So you got to play quick match, and it can feel wonky at times. Sometimes it's great and you find good matches, but there's just slight problems with the matchmaking at the moment. And that's going to sort itself out eventually. It's just blowing up a man's personal Twitter account is just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. And it happens constantly. I feel bad for the guy. Like all the funny and cool stuff that the HOTS community does just gets drowned out by the sea of incessant crying. Like, and it's not even important stuff. Like sometimes it is, but like a lot of the times it's just people are like team wouldn't cooperate with me, always let me die in 1v5. So I'm like, well, teams so new. I don't know. Have you considered maybe you're the bad player? I mean, you
apply some good scrub.
Yeah,
right to the forehead.
The thing I just worry about though is it almost seems like we're having a very similar situation with Ghostcrawler when he was on the Warcraft team. He would just answer questions constantly on Twitter, and then I think this is pure speculation. I think Blizzard just behind closed doors was just like, you need to stop. Like you're you're spending way too much time doing that, and it's outliving its usefulness. Yeah. And they ended up creating a generic Warcraft devs account, and that just kind of became the point for all the complaining to be directed towards. It wouldn't surprise me if like 6 months down the road we have a Heroes dev Twitter account or something, and Browder just takes a step back from Twitter. I mean, he puts on a really strong face, but you can only take so much of that before you're just like, F this, I'm done.
Right.
Like everyone has a breaking point.
Is like, trying to empty the ocean with a bucket. It doesn't work. It's endless. It just keeps coming. They're relentless. And in the vein of this thread, I'm glad. It seems like there was a lot of people who agreed and everything, and it's a really good read with a lot of people going back and forth, and pretty much, I mean, it's Reddit, so there are some trolls, but there's a lot of good, a lot of good conversation in here. Yeah, just a few on Reddit here and there. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, Jimmy.
Yeah, no worries. I think I'm going to close the raffle in about 30 seconds. So if you haven't gotten in yet, ! Raffle.
30 seconds. $20 BattleNet gift card. This money can be spent on anything. It doesn't even have to be Heroes. I mean, I prefer it was Heroes, but.
Anyone else have any more thoughts on the Reddit thread of the week?
It's a part of the community that's built, because this game has brought a lot of people from different communities, and it's hard because everyone wants answers, and it's not something that can be answered sometimes. Like sometimes there is no answer yet, or it's being worked on, but it's built this just like the demand system. Like you can't please everyone. It's impossible. Like you change one thing and somebody else gets upset.
Yeah, it's always going to be an issue, and I don't know. Especially since they've done stuff that have been interactive with the community's requests, so then it's a great thing, but some people don't realize that doesn't mean you should just start blowing everybody up about what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, probably gonna close out the raffle now.
Yeah, we're going to close out the raffle now. Do you want to tell people about where to find lots of great Heroes content?
Sure, you would do that at heroesofthestorm.blizspro.com. That should be your one-stop shop for everything Heroes. Willie writes builds, Ale writes wonderful articles that give you great strategies, whether you're new or old to the game. And I write builds. There's the Weekly Hero. We're pretty much on top of the news as it comes out and gets spoiled and leaked, so make sure you're going to heroesofthestorm.blizspro.com. If you want to donate to us personally, our fund for Patreon is patreon.com/heroespowerhour. This helps support the show and the assorted costs with running a weekly show with 3 different now 5 different hosts. Hardware and software issues do come up, and this goes towards that, as well as giving back to you, our listeners, with things like, hey, a $20 BattleNet gift card. So if you want to go ahead and donate to that cause, $1 a month makes a big difference to us. So that is patreon.com/heroespowerhour.
Most definitely, and we have our winner. It has been drawn. It is Halfingrim. Congratulations, Halfingrim. You've been a long time supporter of the show. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
He subscribed today too. That's coming his way, man.
That's like he just got $15 back.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you everyone
got
for
$15 to use some cool emotes.
Yeah, thank you everyone for coming to check out the show tonight. We had a lot of fun talking about the show. As always, make sure to check out heroes.blizzpro.com for builds and content. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel for when we put up the VOD of this. And if you want to listen to the audio version of this, on blizzpro.com is the link to the RSS feed to put into your favorite RSS reader. We're on iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all sorts of other different podcast directories. Any closing thoughts from everybody?
Well, I'll just say we kind of never really asked for that, but if you go to iTunes or Google Play now, go ahead and leave us a review. 5-star reviews or whatever always help promote the show. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it always definitely does help out, and looks like I think we're going to close this out. Looks like no more closing comments. Thank you once again, everyone, for checking out the show, and as always, stay tight.